Alright, boom, this is what we working with. I already done put it in, but I'm gonna show you guys how to take it out and do it, and I'll show you the difference and everything. So boom, when you're changing your spark plugs or your ignition coils, for instance, this is a BMW, so this has a 6-cylinder engine. So you have 1 cylinder, 2, 3, 4, right up underneath here, and then there's 2 more in the back here. What y'all seen on my story yesterday was me taking out that all the way in the back, that 6 one. That's why you have to, when you're taking out that 6 one, you have to take off this whole intake manifold and dismount this. So this is held in by, you gotta loosen these clamps here. This is use a little flathead. Sometimes these can be 10 mils, but for me this was a quarter inch. And then you disconnect these sensors here. For this one, you just pinch this together, pull it up slightly. Be careful, that's your vacuum seal line. That breaks kind of easy. This here also breaks kind of easy. You can see I already broke this shit a little bit, so I had to put some motherfucking tape on that bitch, but we done made this motherfucker work. You feel me? The trick to it is to like either take like a flathead, like pin it in between this shit, and then pull it down, or like take a washer and then do the same shit. But what we're focusing on is the ignition coil. So when it looks like this, these are the easy ones. These are the flip and pop out. So pretty much all you do is you just flip this piece up until it opens. Now when it opens, it usually just pushes out the connector automatically for you. So then you just take the connector out. And then with these, the easy way to pull them out, because I mean sometimes you can just stick your finger through and pull it out, but to make it a little bit easier is if you take like usually so I usually just take my 3/8 drive and you stick it through, and then you just pull it out. And this is your ignition coil and everything. This is the new one I just got. For BMWs, they say if you have corrosion on the inside, which is what this is, then that's okay. It's just a little bit of moisture getting inside of the cylinders. But deep down inside of here is what is your beautiful, beautiful spark plug. So we're not changing spark plugs. The code that I had in the car was on cylinder 6. That's why yesterday I swapped the first cylinder with the 6 cylinder, and the code transferred from cylinder 6 to cylinder 1. So that lets me know it's the ignition coils. This is the old one right here. This is the new one. The new one's slightly smaller right here, but I mean that's fine. So what you do is you don't need a tool to put it back in. What you do is you just don't be too rough with it. You just wiggle the way back in, and then you see sometimes even the car also even has like little slots for it to line up with. So like you see right there's a little slot that it's supposed to just drop straight into. So you just wiggle this shit down, keep doing it, and just don't be scared, because at the end of the day it still is a car. Some parts are very fragile, but as long as you just give it a little bit of force and just continue to keep wiggling it down. Try not to push too hard on the connector or anything, because you don't want to break that. As you see, it starts to sit flush in, and then once it's flush, you take your connector, slip that back in, and you see it already starts to close a little bit. So before I put this in and connect it, by the way, disconnect your battery before you mess with any of this. You don't want to electrocute yourself. So we'll just make sure this is all the way in. I'm gonna push this down a little more, make sure that's more secure. And then we'll flip that up, push that in a little bit. And while you're pushing it in, hear that snap, clip, all good. Boom, that's how you change your ignition coil. So now left, all I have to do is just put back on the intake manifold. And yeah, that's it, that's the old one. And we're gonna start her up, clear the code, see if the code comes back. Hopefully not, but we'll see.